Welcome to the Fat D&D recap. We began with our group of adventurers, Animax the Pastafarian Paladin, Gunk the Grung Rogue, Crispin the Gensai Sorcerer, and Fish the Orc Barbarian. The adventure began as the group awoke on an Unalorian slave ship sailing the Chord Sea. All hope was lost until Leviathan attacked the ship, knocking the party into the water, wherein they experienced a weird vision of dripping black hands reaching for them as a twisted woman peered from her snowy tower. Awakening from their vision on the shores of the Vile Wastes, the group began to journey back to civilization together. Along the way, they met the guardian Naga Toxiceth, they defeated a Grick and a Marrow, and they met the wood elf woman who they would later learn was the druid Dunja, escaping from her druidic clan, the Moral Mothers. After their jungle adventures, the group came upon the city of Freemarch. Outside of Freemarch was a tent city full of refugees, wherein they met the familiar face of Roxroy Rosenbinge, a general from Palados who was on the Unalorian slave ship just as they were. Roxroy told the group of the happenings in Palados 10 years ago when their leader, Queen Faye, became tainted and unleashed havoc upon the island. Seeing an ally in him, the group plotted a scheme to get in the city, wherein they posed as theater students dressed up as guards transporting slaves, which was not their original plan, but it surprisingly worked. Once in the city, they purified Fish's regression curse forced on him by Toxiceth at a Hutrin temple, where he flashed his orc meat at everyone. The group did some shopping, and Crispin caught up with an old friend from the nomadic group, the Vespiary, named Smoking Mirrors, who informed him that his old mentor, Cathia Baraeum, saw a vision in Crispin's future, full of blood and death. And after all that, they all met up back at the Full Moon Inn. The owner of the inn, a Kalistrar woman named Otil Highstone, immediately hit it off with Animax and they developed a little romance. The group also saw the familiar face of Ashanti wild speaker Oliera, who owns the Black Forge in Salmu, where Gunk, Fish, and Animax all live. After some eavesdropping and some pillow talk, the group also learned of a druidic clan called the Moral Mothers, which Ashanti and Otil are both a part of. As they slept, Gunk and Fish both had nightmares depicting a demonic woman terrorizing them. Desperate to put a stop to these dreams, they approached Crispin, who suggested that they do a ritual to enter the plane of dreams and confront their terrorizer. During this ritual, an evil force was manifested and took hold of Animax before flying crazy throughout the Full Moon Inn, finally making its way out onto the streets where the parade for the meeting of the Five Holds was taking place. While Animax was distracted by Otil's pancakes, Gunk, Fish, and Crispin saved a mysterious figure in an alleyway who turned out to be the Baron of Freemarch's daughter, Yalta Draskin. Although they did not know at the time that the scenario was staged, their good deed gained them an audience with the Baron, Bord Draskin. While at the Draskin Hold, the party met Bodhi Morin, an attendant for the leader of Aton Levo, who gave the party invitations to the summer solstice party in Kindfollow. They also met Bord's son, Triker Draskin, the second Baron of Freemarch, Vira Earthmiel, and finally, the man himself, Bord Draskin. As the Dragonborn leader studied the party, he thanked them for saving his daughter and awarded them with a spa day at the Royal Baths. Later in the night, they got up to some trouble at a bar called the Blue Parrot where Crispin froze some balls, but thankfully Otil was able to brew them a hangover cure once it was all said and done. In the morning, Bord asked the party to find Shenron Shimel, the third Baron of the city, who was not carrying his weight as he should have. The hunt began by causing some trouble at the Naughty Gorgon before the group decided to split up. Animax and Crispin attempted to find the Baron at the bar, Sage and Chain, but the quest ended with Animax running while Crispin was arrested. Luckily, Gunk and Fish were able to detain the Baron at Cerebesi Falls and deliver him to Bord Draskin. After presenting a naked Shenron to Bord, the group was informed that they may be the new incarnates of a sacred group called the Sect of Four Champions, sent by an ethereal force called the Favor to protect Enoria. Bord also informed the party that he recognized the essence of the Favor on them, as he was once a member of the sect himself, although his group had been slaughtered. The party was then invited to spend a week at the Draskin Hold before they set off to restore order to the lands. During their stay, Animax got a Mesro carving from Yalta, Crispin met the deceased Ciri Draskin and got a Snapdragon amulet. Gunk learned Common and got a green cloak. And Fish got a draconic tattoo from Triker Draskin, as well as a tattered short cloak. Before leaving Free March, the demon from their nightmares, Sekhmet, stopped them, and they fought an arduous battle. Roxroy joined in the fight, but was puked on by an Ire Thrall and therefore infected. The group rushed him back to the Full Moon Inn, where Otil attempted to save him, but Roxroy began convulsing and opened a portal from which the dripping black hands from the party's dreams erupted, kidnapping Animax through the portal. Through the abyss, Animax began to drop toward the snowy island of Palados, but was saved by a warrior bathed in golden light, who grabbed Animax, hurling him back to the portal, stating, "You cannot have him yet," before turning and slashing at the black, dripping hands. After all of that, the party said goodbye to Otil and Yalta. Before setting out again, Ashanti informed the group that they may be able to find a cure for Roxroy, but they were not allowed to inform Otil about it, as she would not approve of who they needed to seek out to find the cure. The group then went to Sleekshore on a wagon drawn by Humpy and Camilla, the camels. Once in Sleekshore, Crispin met up with Ephraim, his lover from Neria, and they were able to catch up in the inn Tiger's Tap Room. In a surprising turn of events, Animax killed a man and got a suspicious ring stuck on him, and the party were also able to obtain some muddled potions that they're able to experiment with. In the night, the party had an assassination attempt by 4 people in tiger masks. They followed their assailants into a cave, fought on minecarts, and then fought a basilisk named Guppy, who is now stuck in the astral plane indefinitely due to one of the muddled potions. The Sword of Eventide then erupted from Guppy's material body and chose Animax as its wielder. On her way out of the cave, one assassin woman turned to Fish and told him that she enjoyed the screams of his friends before she escaped through the cave entrance, which confused Fish, because these people weren't his friends, so who is she talking about? They then went on to graphically torture the other 3 assassins for information before killing them. After the battle, Fish was approached by a child who gave him a letter from Prosidius, a member of his clan, the Red Hand. The letter detailed how the members of the Red Hand had been slaughtered because they'd taken a mission without Fish, leaving Prosidius as the sole survivor. As it was no longer safe to remain in Sleekshore, the party continued on to their home in Salmu. As they departed, Ephraim informed the party that they should seek passage to Neria in Salmu with the help of Captain Rambling, and that they could identify his ship by the distinctive yellow, red, and blue sails. The party went directly to the remnants of the Black Forge, where they found a Kenku feather, uncharred bones, and a magic essence. At the inn, Cherries, Animax, and Gunk caught up with their old friend, Cherry, and Crispin saw the familiar face of the elf that he cussed out in the Vile Wastes, Dunja. Ashanti explained that Dunja may know the cure to the Ire fever in Neria, but that they cannot tell Otil, because Dunja is a deserter of the Moral Mothers, the clan of which Otil's sister, Elowen Highstone, is the leader of. In a surprising turn of events, Marwa, a member of the Red Hand previously thought to have been dead, approached Fish after hearing that he was back in town. She informed him that Prosidius killed the entirety of the Red Hand with the help of fighters in tiger masks. After doing some digging, she informed the party that she was able to locate Prosidius in the cells of Salmu's jail. Approaching the surprisingly short Goliath in his cell, the party began to question Prosidius, discovering that he had no recollection of writing Fish the letter, nor did the handwriting on the letter belong to him. Furthermore, he claimed that he was never even at the battle because he was arrested the night before for public indecency after he woke up on the street naked from spending a night with a mysterious woman. Still, Marwa was not convinced by this, as she swore that she saw him at the battle that night. Not completely trusting him, the party allowed Prosidius to stay in his cell, where he would at least stay put while they attempted to figure everything out. Back at Cherries, the guard captain of the city, Thurlow, informed Fish and Marwa that they were being arrested under suspicion for slaughtering the Red Hand and setting ablaze the Black Forge. Unwilling to back down, the party defeated the guards and took Thurlow prisoner, interrogating him. After torture and magical mental warfare, Thurlow broke down, telling the party that Honey of Bees and a demonic woman had informed him of what needed to happen to the sect, or else his family would pay the price. After leaving the guard captain tied up in the basement of Cherry's Inn, the group set out to the Fortress of Honey, where they would confront Honey of Bees about Thurlow's claims. To their surprise, O'Till, as a crane, flew up to the group with a sense of urgency. She explained that she discovered something about the Ire fever and that they would need to act fast if they wanted to save Roxroy's life as well as the lives of many others. O'Till guided the group to the sick district, where Crispin and Animax stared in horror at the massive fire engulfing the area, burning the ill in their haphazardly constructed wooden shacks. Animax and Crispin leapt into action, dragging the citizens from their torched homes to safety on the streets, confusing Gunk and Fish, who did not see the fires as their comrades did. As her suspicion boiled over, Ashanti turned to O'Till, telling her that something was not right. O'Till turned a twisted smile as her flesh melted from her body, revealing a familiar purple tiefling with red, predatory eyes. Ashanti gasped back, "Atomos!" Satisfied with the amount of weakened people on the street, Atomos turned away from the party with sly eyes, rising into the air, canting a wicked spell that spoiled the midnight blues of the sky to a deep brown, raining black from the sky. Wind cycloned above the party as the diseased began to crash together with the sounds of flesh tearing and bones scraping, and the familiar face of their Viking friend in the middle of the heap. Roxroy. Dropping from the air, Atomos eyed the party. "This is but the beginning of your journey, sect. Don't disappoint now, huh?" Before turning his heel and running off into the city. What will become of Roxroy? Will the party save the city of Salmu, or is it destined to crumble? Will they ever learn the truth of the mysterious Ryphon Atomos? Will they ever be able to trust those closest to them again? We will find out this and more in our next session.